Hey y'all, my name is Melissa Hagan and I'm here with Yoga TX, and I'm just going to show you a nice beginner sequence when you're just starting to establish your practice. So we're going to start today sitting on some blankets with feet out wide. We want to move the flesh up and back so that we can ground down through the sits bones. And then reach under the right knee. Bring right shin parallel to the top of your mat. And then same, left knee, left foot comes under the right knee. And your legs should look very boxy. You don't want them in too close to you. And you don't want your feet too close to each other. You want to cross at the and then you'll press into the blankets that you're sitting on to lift your chest. Get a lot of length here in your side bodies. This is Sukhasana. It is a two-sided pose, so we will switch and do the other leg in a moment. For now, we'll do Urdhva Dhanurasana, which means taking your arms up over your head, basically. So you can start by palms facing each other, reach them up to shoulder level, and then instead of reaching forward, you want to take the shoulders back, lift the chest towards the chin, and then inhale to reach the arms up alongside the ears. Keep the elbows straight, keep lifting the chest, spreading the palms, extending evenly through all of your fingers. You can exhale to release, and then we'll take the legs back out and to the opposite side. So an important thing to know in this pose is you always want your hip bones to be above your knees. That's why you sit on blankets. If your knees are way up here, you can support your knees with blocks because it will allow your inner groins to rest. Should be a comfortable seated position. So one more time. This time we can interlace the fingers and straighten the elbows, press the palms out, reach the pinkies up towards the ceiling and the thumbs down. Top of the arms reaching back, inhaling the arms alongside the ears. Here you can think about pressing the thumbs up towards the ceiling, rotating the pinkies down towards the back of the head. Exhale to release. Good. So our next pose is downward facing dog. It's the basic yoga pose, happens in almost every yoga class, maybe one of the most popular. So coming to our hands and our knees, we want to think about the eyes of the elbows rotating out. Sometimes it helps to turn your fingers out a little bit. Your thumbs can point straight forward, and that will help you get the correct rotation in your shoulders. So with the elbows rolling out, tuck your toes, lift your hips, reach up and back. You can keep your knees bent. A lot of times people will come right into the pose and be real hunchy. You want to bend the knees to get a long spine. The spine is the most important part to start. Spread through the fingers, and then maybe one at a time, you can reach the heels down towards the mat. Deep breaths. Opening the armpits, reaching the hips up and back, opening the backs of the knees. Building strength in your arms, stretching the whole back of the body. You don't want to overarch your back, and you don't want to round your back. You want it long, nice and extended. You can come down to your hands and your knees. And our next pose will be Tadasana, mountain pose. So come to standing. And this pose is helpful to do at a wall. A lot of people think, oh, this is just standing up. But this pose is important because it shows any irregularities you may have in your posture. So line up your feet, hips width apart, toes are pointing straight. You can bring your bottom to the wall, and your feet don't come all the way to the wall. You want to leave a little bit of space there. Just the depth of your buttock is how much space you need. And then you bring your shoulders back to the wall and your head. And this is a nice guide for standing up straight. Lift your toes, lift the arches of your feet, and lift your kneecaps, which engages your thighs. If you give them a little poke, squeeze, they should feel hard. Your tailbone descends down towards your heels and your navel draws in. Your shoulders roll back and down. Palms forward helps that. And then you can reach up through the very base of your skull right here. Tucking the chin slightly. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. So our next pose is Warrior Two. And it does help to have a wall behind you because you can use your heel to press into the wall to straighten that back leg. So you can step your feet apart, bring your right heel to the wall and your left toes pointing straight out, and you want a little bit of space in between. So you start with your legs straight, lifting your toes, lifting your arches, lifting your kneecaps, descending your tailbone as you begin to bend into your left knee. The knee comes over the heel, trying to get this hip as parallel as possible. This knee is really straight, this leg is working really hard. I'm pressing into the wall to keep straightening the leg even more and more. And then I lift my chest. Bend, bend, bend. And then the arms can come up. You can use this wall. Sometimes we'll be shoulders too far forward, sometimes we'll be too far back. You want to keep your shoulders over your hips. Reach through the fingertips. Gaze over the left middle finger. Shoulders back and down, lifting the chest. Don't let these ribs stick up. Your back is overarching. Bring them down and in, navel in and up. Good. You can straighten the leg, turn the toes forward, step the feet together. And I'll do it on the other side now. You'll bring your left heel to the wall. Toes are slightly forward. The right foot nice and wide. Line up the top of the foot with the ankle, the shin, and the knee. You don't want your knee to fall in or out. And make sure here, as you bend into the knee, your tailbone is descending. We don't want pokey butts. Knee over the heel, back heel pressing into the wall to straighten the leg, lifting the chest, and then bringing the arms out to your sides. Shoulders back and down, and gaze over the right middle finger. You can bring your hands back to your hips, straighten your knee, turn your forward, and step your feet together. Our next pose is Prasarita Padottanasana, basically a wide-legged forward fold. So you'll have your blocks. If you need something higher, you can use a chair. But most of the time, if we can't reach the floor, we want to raise the floor. You're going to step your feet wide. Toes pointing straight forward. Lift your toes, lift the arches of your feet. Don't let your ankles collapse. And lift your kneecaps. Engage. Descend the tailbone, draw the navel in, hands to the hips. Get length in the front of the body. Inhale and exhale to fold. Bringing your hands to your blocks, flattening your back. Reach your chest forward. Gaze forward, concave your spine. Once you've been here for a minute, you can maybe lower your blocks or bring your hands down to the floor. Still concaving, looking forward, creating space in the spine, and then exhaling to fold. Maybe your head can reach the ground and your hands can come in between your feet. If not, use your block to ground your head. Press into your hands to lift your shoulders and lift the back of your hips up towards the ceiling. To come out, straighten your arms, walk back up. Hands to your hips. Wiggle your feet together. Good. So the final pose that we're going to do is a very gentle inversion. We're going to use a wall. This one is really good for your circulation. Really good for refreshing your brain. You're going to sit really close to the wall and lay down. And then roll your feet up the wall. So you want to make sure that your behind is touching the wall, and bring your heels to the wall. You can dig your elbows into the ground to lift your chest, and then relax with your palms up. And just rest here. Usually we'll stay in this pose for at least 5 minutes. 10 minutes is better. It's a really great gentle inversion if you're tired, if you've been on your feet all day, they need a break. So stay here for as long as you want, and then when you're done, you can bring the soles of the feet together, slide them down the wall. Just gently pressing the knees out to open the inner groin. And then bring the knees together and roll over to your side, coming out the way you came in. Up to seated. And so those are a couple great beginner poses that you can work on. This is Melissa with Yoga TX, and thank you so much for coming to practice with me today. Namaste. Hey y'all, Melissa here, and we're going to do a sequence for weight loss today. Patanjali, the author of the Yoga Sutras, writes in the Yoga Sutras that asana brings perfection in body, beauty in form, grace, strength, compactness, and hardness and brilliance like a diamond. So we're going to start at the top of our mats with our feet lined up, firm our thighs, lengthen our tailbone in our Tadasana. Roll your shoulders back, palms face forward. And we're just going to start by warming up and getting our blood flowing. So we'll do a couple swan dives. We'll take our arms out and up, reach up through the fingertips, and exhale to swan dive down and forward fold all the way down. Look forward, draw your shoulder blades towards each other, and inhale, raise the arms up. Stretch through the fingertips. Again, exhale, forward fold, come all the way down. Inhale, look forward, shoulders towards each other, lift the chin, swan dive back up. We'll do 3 more of these together. Belly in, exhale to fold. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, look forward, shoulders together. Come up. Take your arms up alongside your ears. Still pressing the feet. Firm thighs. Navel in, look forward. Take your fingers together. And then stretch up. Reach up. Draw your triceps, the back of your arm here, roll it in towards your ears. And then we'll exhale, we'll forward fold once more all the way down. We'll look forward, flatten our back to concave. We just draw the tops of the shoulders up. And then exhale, fold, step back into push-up position. With your shoulders over your wrists, we're going to come forward on the very tips of the toes, look forward, bend the elbows straight back as you lower, belly in, point the toes, upward facing dog. Thighs don't come down here, only the tops of the feet and the hands, and then we tuck again, press up and back, downward dog. Press your femur bones back. Inner thighs back. Relax your head. Look up to your hands, step or hop on up. Look forward, flatten the back. Exhale to refold. Inhale, look forward. Shoulder blades together and come on up. Exhale, hands down to the heart. You can do as many of those as you want to continue to get yourself nice and warm. We're going to continue, and our next pose is a downward dog. So we'll go through one more time to get into our dog. Inhale, reach on up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or hop back to your push-up position. Forward on the toes, elbows straight back in towards the rib cage, and then point the toes, upward facing dog. Open the collarbones, and then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then we're gonna do ecopado, one leg here. So take your right leg up and back. If you have a wall behind you, you can use it. Trying to square the hips. This is not what we want. Roll that right hip down. Reach up through the inner right heel. As you exhale, come forward over your hands and bring your knee to your nose. Press it back up towards the wall. Exhale, knee to nose. One more, up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Up and back. And then bring it down. We'll do the other side. Take a rest if you need to, then come on up. Left leg up. Reach through the inner heel. This, again, not correct. Take the left hip down. All right, as you exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Reach up and back. Through the inner heel, exhale, knee to nose. Last one, up and back. And then knee to nose. Curl. And then up and back. And then bring it down. And then walk up to your hands. And grab your elbows and just fold forward and let your head relax. All right, from here, plant your hands and just come on down to your hands and your knees and cross your ankles and bring your legs out in front of you. And we'll do a little bit of awesome core work. We'll do some 30, 60, 90s. So we're gonna lay down flat on our backs. We'll hold on to our mat on either side of us. And from this, we'll roll our shoulders back and lift our chest. Okay, if your lower back doesn't come all the way down when you take your legs up, just put a blanket under it. It needs to be touching the ground. Okay, so take your legs straight up like a column. Squeeze your knees together. And then as you exhale, bring them down to 30, 60, almost to the floor. Reach through the inner heels, tap the floor, and then all the way up. Great. Keep the knees as straight as we can. If it is really straining your low back, you can bend the knees. But if you're nice and strong, firm knees. Bring them down. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze together. Tap the ground and up. We'll do one last one. Reach through the inner heels. 1, 2, 3. Strong cores. Tap the ground and up. Good. Hug your knees. And then we'll roll to our right and come up. And for our next one, we'll do our boat pose. Navasana, Paripurna Navasana. So, in this pose, it's easiest to start in your pose. All right, so almost like we're doing a forward fold. Come forward over the legs and really lift the chest. This is the same shape as the next pose we're gonna do. So keep your body in this shape as much as possible as you just lift your legs up. Firm legs, reach through the inner heels, spread the toes. Bring your hands up. And then we're gonna take our hands behind our head, lower down halfway, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then up. This is some hard work. Down, up. Last one. Hold it. And release. Good. Okay, so our final pose is going to be Marichyasana 3. We're going to have a block to sit on, or you can sit on blankets if you want. Just a little bit of height. We start in Tadasana with our legs straight out. Take a minute to kind of pull the flesh up and away from the thigh. You'll feel that you can clear the sits bones better that way. And then bend your right knee into your chest. Nice and close. And then first we're just gonna interlace our fingers over the knee and draw our bottom ribs up the thigh as much as we can. Lift the chest. Shoulders back. Good. And then keeping this left leg nice and firm, we're gonna inhale, reach the arms up, extend the side ribs, and exhale, left elbow to the outer right thigh, and the right hand behind us. So from here, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Neither shoulder should be higher than the other. So bring it down, make them even. All right, and then twist. You have to use your hands. Press your elbow into your leg, press your hand into the wall, and twist deeper. Draw your abdomen in. This is great detoxing work here. Look over your right shoulder. Breathe. Inhale to lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale to twist any amount deeper. And then look over your left shoulder and release. And we'll switch. Left leg comes into the chest, nice and close. foot's pretty close. And then we start by just lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, pressing this thigh down, drawing these bottom ribs up the knee, towards the knee. And then we'll stretch the arms, keep the leg and the foot pressing, extend the spine, and then exhale to twist right elbow to left outer thigh and the left hand to the mirror behind us. Keep this right leg firm and then use your arms. Navel draws in. Inhale to lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale to twist even deeper. Look over the left shoulder. And then look back to center and release. Great, well that was some good hard work. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.